What's good, everybody? It's your boy Rich in the building. I'm here with
Christian Carley.
Christian Carley in the building. You know what I'm saying? This is part 2 of a conversation. Today I'm gonna do something a little different than usual. It's not just like a regular message, but I feel that the Bible has a lot of characters that I feel like we relate to, you know. So today we're just gonna talk about, you know, which Bible character we relate to the most. Okay? You wanna start first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first, I guess.
All right.
I'll go first. If I have to relate to somebody, it'd be Jesus. No, let me stop. I mean, we got beat like Christ, but like, you know, that's hard.
Nah, that's crazy though. I actually was thinking about that. Like coming here,
Yeah.
I was like, yo,
There's a way to talk about it, and like, that's how we're supposed to be, like.
yeah.
But
Nah,
if I had to pick one person in the Bible that I feel like I relate to, I really feel like for me as of this season is Job. Because the reason why I say Job,
always by season.
yeah,
Not because like last time he was like Paul. This time he's
see, like, I was saying Paul in the sense, like, it kind of correlates what I'm about to say with the Job situation. Like, basically, real quick summary, like, you know, I was in a motorcycle accident, and like, the witnesses that were around said I got hit, but I do know the car came very close and I got scared. Then I know I hit the brake. Then, you know, you flip and all that. And then I got knocked out, then I woke up, and that happened. Then I had a seizure from the motorcycle accident, and then all that kind of stuff. And for those who don't know, I had a Camaro, then I also had a Honda, a CBR motorcycle. And so once that seizure happened, they said you can't drive for a year just as like a safety precaution. So I was like, all right, cool. So, you know, my car got taken and my motorcycle got taken. You know, then I broke my arm. This arm was hard to lift up. I had road rash on my arm, my hand, my knees, and my feet. And like, you know, a lot of things were taken from me. So like now I'm on hold for like a year. And the reason why I say it makes me feel like Job, because Job went through something like God allowed the devil to have chaos go rampant in his life. And I feel like a lot of chaos has went rampant in my life. And that's just like little stuff. And then, you know, it's one of those situations too. You have a time frame in the sense of like when I could drive again, but it's one of those, if we really read the book of Job, God never even told Job why he was going through that, if you really go read it. And then also too, he never even said how long he was going to go through it too.
yeah.
And then it's one of those situations that I was feeling, because like there's certain things that go on and you're like, man, when is this going to end? And a lot of things have been taken from me. But then there's one of those situations too. It's like, I know more is coming back, and I know God's going to bless me, and I'm going to keep him first. And I feel like double is going to get back in return. It's just about me being faithful and true to God through it all. Like, hey, are you really going to stand firm in God? Or am I going to just like curse God? Like, you know, in the book of Job, I think it was his wife and his friends were saying, like, his friends were like, you must have done something bad. That's why God's punishing you. And then his wife was like, curse God. You know, I personally don't have nobody saying like, curse God, and, you know, all this kind of stuff.
That's crazy, but his wife.
Yeah, I know,
his
right?
wife was like, curse God and die.
But then I seen some stuff like, for example, I seen on TikTok, like when I had one of the seizures, she was like, it popped up randomly on my phone, on my TikTok feed. It was like how to deal with seizures, how to live with it, like, you know, for life.
Yeah.
And she's about to explain like how she deals with it. But then I was like, nah, I rebuke that. I swiped out of it, closed the app. I was like, I'm not about to submit and say this is what I'm stuck with for life.
Yeah.
The devil is a lie. We're not going through this for life. So that's why I was like, no, I'm good. Then, you know, I go to the doctors. The doctor's like, hey, why do you want to lower the dosage? Because I was lowering the dosage, like, so I can get off the medicine. And he's like, why do you want to lower it? You should just keep it, safety and all this. I was like, you know, God got me. And he responds saying like, you know, God's not worried about you right now. He's worrying about bigger things in Ukraine.
That's
and I was like,
crazy.
all right, now we about to make you a believer. Because I was like, I'm getting off of this. And I've been good ever since. And like, I'm about to get off of it. I'm about to go down to like 1 pill a day in like 3 months. And then after that, 3 months, I'm gonna be off of it. But it's just one of those things. It's like, you know, you get attacked going through that situation and thoughts in your own room and your own life.
I didn't even know that part. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Then you go to the doctors, and just because you want to lower the dosage, now you saying like God's got me. Then he's like, nah, God don't. He's worried about other things. You're like, what? Then you hear little smart remarks from people like, you need to just stay in the medicine. And like, I get it. People say like God ordained medicine. That's cool and all. But one thing, like I said to God, I said, I'm going to do this out of obedience in the sense like I'm going to take the pill, but that pill is not like, I'm not putting my faith in that pill. I'm putting my faith in God. So however God decides to use it, I know I'm working with God. That pill is just something me just being obedient, but my faith not in it. But like I said, I feel like it's Job for me because we both went through some crazy chaos in life that God's allowed for us to go through. And then I feel like I'm going to get back double.
Amen. Hey, man, you was preaching. I'm saying, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I felt touched a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I think, like, you know what I'm saying? But no, it was cool. Personally, for me,
let me guess. I had to guess for Richard.
No, personally, I know it's kind of I don't know if it's cliche, if that's even a word.
You gonna say Peter or Matthew?
No, I'm not gonna say those actually.
Really?
For real? That's what you thought? Nah, honestly, there's people that actually compare me to David. Like in all seriousness. The reason why is, well, people who know me personally, they would say, oh my God, Richard, you have such a good heart. You know what I'm saying? You have a good heart. So I always relate to that because just like David always loved to just be in the Lord's presence for anything. Like literally for no matter what. Like this man, he will fail and will be like immediately back into the Lord's presence. So for me, that's kind of like how I am, because like me as a human, because I am human, and then also like as a Christian, that's always like the number one thing for me is like every single time I fail, I have to go to God no matter what. Like there's people that fail and they don't know how to get back up.
Yeah.
Like David was one of those that was like, you know, free me out of myself so that I could worship you. Like it's better a day in your course than, you know, 1,000, you know, out of it. So that's always been like my mentality. And I talk about the heart because it's kind of like, it's just like my personality towards people as well. Like David's heart was a heart that was like, that the Lord really loved. You know, this is biblical. And so for me, I always aspire to have a heart just like David did. You know, help me love just like Jesus, but let me have a heart just like David did as well. Now on the sinful side, I'm not gonna lie, like David was kind of crazy, man. I mean, his son Solomon, I don't know how he did it, but personally, David, he did have a lot of wives. You know what I'm saying? He did have a lot of women. Not saying that I had like millions.
That's a question I got. Was that allowed back then or not? Like I be hearing mixed reviews. Like, were they allowed to have multiple wives back then?
Yeah, because they had to multiply. Like it was mandatory that they had to multiply. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, all right, I gotta look into it, but I hear you.
Yeah, let's say like Adam and Eve. It was like only Adam and Eve, and then Cain and Abel. And then like there had to be like more kids. So to fill up the planning, it's kind of like they had to like multiply. You know? But like in David's sense, not saying that I would ever do this, but the fact that he went and he like basically took somebody else's wife, which is super crazy, you know, it's just a sign too that like you can be like the most greatest in God, but you still have that struggle that you're dealing with. You know what I mean? So that always relates to me only because like I've had like past relationships where I've chosen it for myself and they were not the correct ones. You know, I thank God that he's kept me, you know, basically safe, and just he's always warned me